Coming up on this program, we show you how to get connected. Find out how to choose an internet service provider. Discover the newest form of communication, electronic mail.
Ways down and ready to ride. One by one, billion by billion, and holding up half the sky. Raise your hand if you're ready and willing, if you know it's time. Time for a girl on time. Time for a girl on time. Time for
Hello, everybody. I hope everybody's doing well today. It's Tuesday, right? Yeah, it's Tuesday, October 1st, but it's a new month. Oh my goodness. And Felicia's back. She has to make a mandatory appearance at least every month. Just because, gotta prove that I'm still the lady on the thumbnail. I hope you guys are doing well. We had a morning stream this morning. We made roasted chickpeas. That was fun. Tomorrow we're going to be doing the same. Tomorrow we're making stuffed mushrooms. Speaking of hot stuff, Carrie. Yes, stuffed mushrooms, ladies and gentlemen. And we will be making those tomorrow morning. Oh, you are so sweet. Boobs in the heart. Boobs in the heart. Thank you so much. I feel pretty hot today. I've already been to the gym. I've lost a little bit of weight. I am motivated. The things we are excited for, right? Also, dopamine. It's a funny thing. For somebody like me with ADHD, dopamine is amazing. Hi, Erica's picking up her boys. And we're assuming she means children, not multiple men. Shane's here, Vicky's here, Cellulite Yoga Pants, John is here, William, back. Okay. So, we have to hurry. Thank you for the reminder because I have a family dinner tonight and my sister's picking me up in less than 2 hours and we have an hour and 12 minutes of court to watch. So, let's shut the fuck up and watch some court. Paisley, please, please, please. Would you do that? Could you? Would you? Also, I've already hit my 10,000 steps today, y'all. What are we at? 10,613. I'm excited for that. Yes, we can say, good job, Paisley. Also, this is a pro se versus lawyer case.
Right. Good morning. This is a matter of Huey versus Huey, case number 23-11859 DM. Present in the virtual courtroom, we have both parties along with attorney Jordan Swears representing the plaintiff, Ms. Huey. This is the date and time scheduled for a trial in this matter. And Mr. Swears, would you call, well, first of all, do you wish to make an opening statement or do you want to waive your opening statement?
No, we'll waive and rely on our trial brief, Your Honor. Okay.
And Mr. Huey, I know you're representing yourself. The court has to hold you to the same standards as an attorney, which means all of the rules of evidence, all of the court rules, all of the case law, all of the things that people learn in law school. So you are entitled to represent yourself. I'm just kind of giving you a heads up and a warning that I will be holding you to those same standards because that's what I'm required to do. So an opening statement is when each side gets the opportunity to tell the court what they believe the proofs, the evidence is going to show in their case. And Mr. Swears, probably in the interest of time, is waiving his opening statement. So do you wish to make an opening statement or do you wish to just get going?
We should address everything as it comes along, right? Is that my understanding?
Right. Yeah. An opening statement is just a summary of what you think the evidence will show, but and you can make one.
No, we can just continue if that's okay.
All right, then that's fine. The record should reflect that Mr. Huey has waived his opening statement. All right, Mr. Swears.
Your Honor, again, just to get them out of the way, I'd like to move for admission of our proposed Exhibit A. It is a demonstrative. It's simply the asset schedule requested by the court.
Right. Mr. Huey, just so that you know, a demonstrative exhibit is not accepted by the court as proof of the items on it. It's simply a document that can be worked off of by all parties. This kind of summarizes what the plaintiff is claiming, but it is not actual evidence in the case, if that makes sense. So do you have any objection to that?
No.
Okay, all right. Then it's admitted for demonstrative purposes only.
And then I'd also like to move for the admission of our Exhibit I. This is the State Bar of Michigan 2023 Economics of Law Report. And we would move for admission as self-authenticating under MRE 9025.
Any objection to that, Mr. Huey?
I don't really understand what it means, but no.
It's a statement that the state bar has put out that indicates what attorney fees are around the state, et cetera. The state bar is published it, and frankly, the court could probably take judicial notice of it, but it's a reliable piece of evidence, so I will admit it.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor. We would like to call our first witness, Julie Lemon, who I believe is in the waiting room.
All right. Ms. Van Oler, would you bring her in from the waiting room?
You think that lady's favorite
Ms.
color
Lemon,
is
are you
purple?
able to start your audio? Or your video? I'm sorry. There we go.
Yes,
All right. Would you raise your right hand, please? Would you state your name for the record?
Julie Lemon.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. You can put your hand
All right.
down now.
Okay.
Good morning, Ms. Lemon. The court may have just asked you this while I was looking off, so bear with me. Can you please just spell your name for the record?
Julie, Julie, Lemon, Lemmen.
And are you related to any of the parties in this case?
Yes, Deborah is my daughter.
All right. I'm going to start with some questions just about some of the property in this case. Does Deborah own a car?
Yes.
What kind of car does she own?
2013 Ford Escape.
Do you remember when she bought the vehicle?
November 2023. I
So when
don't
she
have an
bought
exact
that-
date.
November is close enough.
Okay.
When she bought the car, was it a new or a used vehicle?
Used.
Do you remember about how much she paid for the vehicle?
It was a little over 12,000 plus tax.
I really can't stop this and talk as much as I want to because of time, but why is this what we're starting with? What an odd case. I don't really even know what it's about yet, I guess. We'll see. 12K for a 9-year-old car last November, that's not a good deal. Especially a Ford whatever. Oh Lord Jesus Christ. And why is her mom the person to best get in that evidence? Also, William, maybe it's not.
And fees and all of that good stuff.
Now, at the time that Tom and Deborah bought that vehicle, did they have enough money cash on hand or did they need a loan for purchase of the vehicle?
I paid for the vehicle.
All right, so you paid directly for the vehicle?
Correct. To Cool Chevrolet.
Now, so did you pay for it because they didn't have the money for it or did you
Correct.
pay
They
for
did
it?
not have the money and they needed a reliable vehicle to transport the children.
Now, at that time, did you have an agreement with Tom and Deborah regarding whether they were supposed to pay that money back?
Yes, I mean, yeah, it was a loan. It was to be paid back.
And as we sit here in court today, has that loan been repaid?
No,
I'm going to move on. Does Tom own a car?
Yes.
Do you know what kind of car Tom has?
It's, I believe, a 2005 Mercury Milan.
Mercury Milan?
Yes.
Do you remember about when he bought that vehicle?
It was also November.
All right. Now, prior to purchasing the Milan, was there a time period where Tom needed a rental vehicle?
Yes, in September of 2023, they were using one of our vehicles, one of me and my husband's vehicles, 2012 Chevy Equinox, and Tom hit a deer and totaled it. So while they were working on that to see if that car could be fixed or whatnot, they rented a car.
Okay, well, as somebody who lives on an island where there are a lot of deer, in fact, the deer in our neighborhood are on birth control. If you think I'm kidding, I'm not. They have actually put all the deer on implanted birth control units instead of culling them because there's just too many weirdos here. Anyways, but I've seen a number of deers hit cars. That's covered by insurance here. Your rental car, all that kind of shit is covered by insurance. I don't know.
All right. And Your Honor, I'm not certain. Does Tyler prefer to show the exhibits directly or to have us do a share screen?
I think it's whatever is easier. If you can do it, that'd be great.
I will attempt that, Your Honor. I'm usually able to pull that off. Well, all right, Julie, let me know when you can see the screen.
Yes, I see a screen.
All right, so this is what
Is
has
there,
been-
sorry, is there a way to enlarge it? It's really small on my
That's
screen,
what
at
she
least.
said.
Much better. Thank you.
All right, so Julie, I'm showing you what has been marked as plaintiff's proposed Exhibit E. Have you seen this before?
Yes, yep.
Can you tell me what it is?
This is the rental car for when they were using from the car accident, where it references like State Farm,
Hold
because
on
that's
a
my
second. Let me
insurance.
just ask you, because I'd like to get it admitted first.
Hi, Mistaken Reaper. Nice to see you. Hoping that you are doing well. I know you're getting moved to a nursing facility soon, and we're sending good vibes. Rachel's having homemade chicken minestrone soup. I don't know if that's what they're giving you in the hospital. Is it? Also, we aren't seeing this on purpose, Sherry, because of YouTube Daddy and the way he is. You should be able to see right up here the attorney in the top corner, but I have to black out this. There's a VIN number on here. There's license plate numbers. There is insurance numbers. This specifically absolutely needs to be redacted. So
Does this receipt look to be the same as the last time you saw it?
Yes,
Your Honor, I'd move for admission of proposed Exhibit E.
Mr. Huey, any objection?
The whole story is
Well, no,
fabricated.
that's not, this
Oh,
isn't your opportunity to make a statement. It's just a question of whether or not you object to this exhibit.
yes, I do.
Based on what? Again, this is where the rules of evidence come in.
The renter was because I was the only one that had a license when we were at the
Again, this
renter.
isn't your opportunity to explain anything. You'll have the opportunity to cross-examine. It's really whether under the rules of evidence, this exhibit is admissible. In other words, that it is what it purports to be.
It is what it reports to be then, ma'am.
Okay, then it's admitted. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. All right,
take it down, Jordan.
Julie, so I want to, off on the left-hand side here, do you see where it says renter?
yes.
Can you tell, so who is the renter in this case?
Thomas Huey.
Now at the bottom, there's a MasterCard number. Is that Tom's MasterCard?
Yes, it is.
All right, so Tom paid directly for this.
Yes, he did.
Can you explain to the court why or what the context is where there's a loan, since this is obviously showing a payment at that time?
Okay. So to rent a car, you have to go in, with a debit card, credit card, whatever, and a driver's license. Tom was the one that had the debit card in his name prior to going to the rental company. I went with Tom to Fifth Third Bank and we transferred money from my account to his account to pay for this rental so that they could use their debit card and pay for it.
All right. So like the Ford Escape, was there any discussion? Was this a loan or was this just a gift of a rental car after he hit the deal with yours?
Well, it's a loan. And that was very clear in conversations with both of them.
All right, let's go back to the Mercury Milan then that he bought after this. Do you know who he bought the Mercury Milan from?
The car was purchased from my sister, Michelle DeWitt. She,
All right, and did, sorry, I'll just keep moving along here in the interest of time.
Okay.
Do you know how much they paid at that time?
I paid her $500 for the vehicle. I paid her so that they could go pick it up.
So again, was that because you were giving them the car? They didn't have the money? What was
They did not have the money.
Was that also a loan you expected to have repaid?
Yes, and it was very clear that the car should have been titled in Deb's name.
All right. And again, can you remind the court when that was purchased?
November sometime.
All right. So basically right before the divorce was initiated.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor. I have no further questions for this witness.
All right, Mr. Huey, if you would unmute. If you were represented by an attorney, your attorney would be able to cross-examine Ms. Lemon, since you're representing yourself. You may do this. However, you can, which means you can ask her questions about the testimony that she just gave. But it is not a time for you to argue with her. I'll give you a chance to tell your start side of the story at some point. But this is not that time. Simply just ask her questions about the testimony that she just gave, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So go ahead whenever you're ready.
Okay. I don't know if it will help on asking on cross-examination, only because they have I just don't want to argue. So
I'm sorry.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if my line of questioning would actually benefit this or just hinder it.
Okay, it's up to you, but if you need her to clarify something she said, this is the time to do that, because once she's done testifying, you won't be able to recall her.
Oh, okay. No, it's just it's gonna turn into I don't know the proper way to present the question, so we would just pass it because it's just gonna be a battle, and I'm not trying to waste the court's time.
All right. So you're waiving cross-examination?
Yes, ma'am. In the thoughts of not and not making myself look like a fool.
Okay, well, like I said, I mean, this is your one and only chance to ask her questions. I wouldn't worry about making yourself look like a fool, because I'm sure Mr. Swears will object and I will address it. But you certainly can ask her questions if you'd like. I just want to make sure that you're waiving that knowingly.
With my best thought, I think that would be because the only way I would make a statement, ma'am. So I don't.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
That's fine then. Mr. Swears,
If it wasn't obvious that he needed a lawyer, it is so obvious now. This is not going to go well for him. The problem is that this is serious shit, dude. Oh my goodness. Anyways, all right, let's continue. Can you just, Jordan, could you take this down off the screen? You've literally been doxing these people forever. I know, ironically, not cross-examining to avoid looking like a fool makes him look like a fool, right? Right? Exactly. Oh! Tammy, been on replay crew. We love our replay crew. Sound off in the comments below. Thank you, Tammy.
Well, first of all, may Ms. Lemon be excused?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Huey, any objection to her being excused?
No, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Lemon, you may leave. Okay, Mr. Swears, next witness. Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, I would call Deborah Huey.
All right, and I'm gonna need her close to the microphone. As close as possible, because I'm having a hard time hearing. I don't know if your voice is dropping, but I'm having a hard time hearing the last parts.
I think I'm dropping my voice, Your Honor. I'll try projecting more here.
Okay, that's fine.
Me too.
All right, Ms. Huey, would you raise your right hand, please? Would you state your name for the record?
Deborah Huey.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Mr. Swears.
All right. Good morning, Deborah. Could you also just spell your name for the record, please?
Deborah, Debra, Huey, Huey.
And you are the plaintiff in this case?
Yes.
All right, Deborah, I'm going to start by asking just a couple of administrative questions to cover the proofs that the court will need to take to enter a judgment. If at any point you can't understand or hear me, just stop me and I'll repeat the question. Did you file a complaint for divorce in this case on or about December 4th, 2023?
Yes.
Were you and Tom separated at that time?
Yes.
At that time, had you lived in Kent County for at least 10 days?
Yes.
Had you lived in the state of Michigan for at least 180 days?
Yes.
Were the allegations in the complaint true at the time the complaint was filed?
Yes.
Are those allegations still true today?
Yes.
Are you currently pregnant?
No.
Has there been a breakdown of the marriage relationship such that the objects of matrimony have been destroyed and there remains no reasonable likelihood that the marriage can be preserved?
Yes.
All right, Deborah, I'm going to shift on and let's talk briefly about the marital assets and liabilities. I'm just going to steal my mouse here for some exhibits. I'll start by talking about your car. What kind of vehicle do you drive?
A Ford Escape, a 2013.
And
It's
just for the record, if you could identify what exhibit you're referring to. Again, this does get turned into a transcript, so it's important to identify.
All right, and apologies, I had left the previous exhibit E up, Your Honor, but we're not going on that one.
Yeah, you did.
So which exhibit are we looking at?
At the moment, none, Your Honor. We'll be at exhibit C.
Okay, all right,
shortly.
okay.
Could have fooled me, Jordan.
All right, so Deborah, you heard your mother testify about a loan to purchase that vehicle. Was it also your understanding that that was money you needed to and still need to repay for your Ford Escape?
Yes.
All right. And obviously, after the court enters a divorce, it might be a bit awkward for an ongoing financial relationship between your family and Tom. So is it your preference that you be responsible for making those payments and satisfying that loan?
Yes.
All right. Is the Ford Escape still the vehicle that you're driving?
Yes.
All right. And you believe you should keep the vehicle following the divorce?
Yes.
All right. I'm now going to pull up what has been plaintiff's proposed exhibit C as in Charlie.
VIN numbers
All right,
everywhere.
Deborah,
You
do you
realize
recognize
they can do that.
this
Fraud
proposed
with that.
exhibit?
Yes, I do.
Can you tell the court what it is?
It's the Kelly Blue Book value of my vehicle, the Ford Escape.
I I just need to point something out to you guys. I'm going to pull this down a little bit. That's what she said. And just show you the top of this. I have to be very careful because there is, in fact, the VIN number right here. But I just want to point something out, okay? This is not a screenshot. This is a picture of a screenshot. Look at this. Somebody took a picture of their screen with their phone. People. It kills me. It absolutely kills me. Like, seriously, look at the bottom of this. Look at the look at the quality of it. It's craziness. Anyways, some imbecile has said that her car is worth $6,000. And I would show the VIN, except I listened to a Kit Boga video last night where somebody was using a VIN and successfully stole like tens of thousands of dollars from people. So I will not leave the VIN up there. You know how it goes.
All right, and that's your vehicle by the Ford Escape and the VIN number up top.
Yes.
And then at the bottom here, I recognize this is a computer screen snapshot rather than a printout, so it's a little rough. Do you see where it has values there?
Yes, I do.
And does this screenshot look to be in the same condition as the last time you had seen it?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'd move for admission of proposed Exhibit C.
Any objection, Mr. Huey?
No.
All right, it's admitted.
All right. So Deborah, on the bottom left, there's a green box that says private party range, and below that an average value. Can you see what that value is?
Yes.
Can you read that value for the court?
The private party value is $7,666.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and take that exhibit down.
Could you give me that amount again? 7,000.
666, Your Honor.
Thank you.
All right. And then your mother also testified that she transferred money as a loan for a rental vehicle in September 2023. Do you believe you should also be responsible for satisfying that loan after the divorce?
Yes.
All right. Your mother covered some of this, but I'm just going to recover it just for clarity. What kind of car does Tom have?
Mercury Milan.
Do you remember about what year that Mercury Milan is?
I believe a 2010.
2010.
Ma'am, can you speak up just a tiny bit?
Oh, yes. I believe it's a 2010.
Much better. Thank you.
And at the time Tom bought that vehicle, did you and Tom have the cash on hand, or did you also need a loan from family?
We also needed a loan. We did not have the money.
Can you tell the court why you got the money from family instead of going to a bank or applying for a car loan?
Felt it was easier and quicker, and we had kids, or we had, both the boys. It was much quicker than waiting at a bank or a car dealership to do the paperwork.
All right, I'm going to show you what has been submitted as proposed Exhibit B, as in Bravo. And I'll zoom in. Do you recognize this?
Yes, I do.
And can you tell the court what it is?
It's the Kelly Blue Book for the Mercury Milan.
And does it appear to be in the same condition as the last time you saw this screenshot?
Yes.
Your Honor, I move for admission of Exhibit B.
Any objection, Mr. Huey?
No, ma'am.
All right, it's admitted.
All right. And at the bottom left again, do you see the private party range?
Yes.
Can you tell the court what the private party value there is, the average?
I believe it says $3,832.
All right. I'm going to shift briefly over to.
I'm just going to say right now, those are used salesperson's wet dream to get that pricing. I don't think it's going to happen. I used to sell used cars. Tough gig, I'll tell you that much. But it's just a tough thing. I also don't think she'll pay her mother back. I think this is a way to get at her ex. I don't know. Allegedly. Also, they were together in November. Now it's almost been a year. Shit changes in a year. Good God.
Some prior housing. Did you and Tom ever live at 165 East Division
Yes, in Rockford.
in Rockford? All right. Did you own or did you rent that property?
We rented.
Can you briefly describe the house for the court? Number of bedrooms, bathrooms, just like the one-liner Zillow rental summary.
It has technically 2 bathrooms, but we only used one. And they advertised it as a 3-bedroom, but it was more of a 2-bedroom.
Do you remember about what your monthly rent was?
1,800.
Was there ever a time in 2023 when you and Tom did not have the money to pay the rent?
Yes.
Did anyone else pay the rent for you?
Yes, my grandmother.
What's your grandmother's name?
Carol DeWitt.
All right. I'm going to show you what has been proposed as Exhibit D, as in Delta.
Or Dick. This is bank
Can you tell the
records.
court what these are?
Those are the checks that my grandmother paid for our rent.
All right. And do they appear to be whole, complete, and intact copies of the check receipts?
Yes.
Your Honor, I move for admission of proposed Exhibit D.
Any objection, Mr. Huey?
Yes.
Okay, what's the basis of your objection?
These are stubs. We gave her grandmother the money to write it, so we didn't because we didn't have time to get the money orders.
Okay, again, this isn't the time for you to tell your
So
side.
but that was the reason why I was
It's-
objecting.
Okay, no, the basis for objecting would be, you don't believe that it's an accurate representation of what it says it is. You believe it's fraudulent, something like that, but, you can give your explanation later when it's your turn, okay?
1,800 rent, by the
All
way.
right, it's admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor. All right. So can you tell me these checks are made out to Kelly Wood? Who is Kelly Wood?
She was our landlord.
All right. In the bottom left, 165 East Division. That was your address?
Correct.
Now, the top one here says it's from mid-month, September 10th, 2023. Can you tell me why there's a mid-month check?
Because the rent was late.
All right. So you were already overdue at that point?
Yes.
And then the second check, that's dated October 1st. What month's rent was that for?
October.
To the best of your memory and recollection, have you and Tom ever paid your grandmother back for these 2 rental payments?
No.
To the best of your knowledge, was it your agreement with her that she would be paid back at some point?
Yes.
Wow, really? John, my rent for my studio and my house, I guess, like my bedroom in this house, is $1,500. Oh, it's so expensive. Yeah. And that's renting a room and sharing a kitchen and a bathroom.
And like with the cars, do you believe that you, rather than Tom, should ultimately be responsible for this after the divorce?
Yes.
For making the actual payments?
Yes.
All right, I will pull this exhibit down. And let's shift over to school tuition.
Hold the phone. Y'all don't have money for cars. Y'all don't have money to pay rent. Put your kids in fucking public school. You don't have money for private school. Newsflash. You're poor. Get over it.
Did Michael ever attend St. Peter's Lutheran Preschool?
Yes, he did.
And where is St. Peter's Preschool?
It's in Rockford, and it was just down the street from where we were living.
Yeah, so walking distance or?
Yes.
Did you and Tom always pay tuition yourselves, or did someone loan you the money for tuition?
My grandmother loaned us the money.
Do you remember how much that tuition was?
It was just over $2,400.
Got it. Was that also a loan that the agreement was to pay back at some point?
Yes, it was.
And that still needs to be paid back?
Correct.
All right, so you've identified 6 specific personal or family loans you believe should be included in the marital estate. So I just want to confirm those. There's the $1,800 to your grandmother, Carol DeWitt, for the September 10th payment.
Yes.
There's an $1,800 again to Carol DeWitt for the October 1st payment. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. $2,415 to Carol DeWitt for tuition at St. Peter's School.
Yes.
$500 to Julie Lemon for the Mercury Milan,
Yes.
and $463 in change for the rental vehicle.
Yes.
Now, we briefly talked about this as it related to the one car, but these are all personal loans, not bank loans. Can you just explain to the court why you took these as personal loans rather than going to a bank or financial institution?
My family had the money. It was easier to talk to them and to repay it when we could repay it than versus a loan that we had to make set payments on when we were already having a hard time.
And so during your marriage to Tom, was it normal practice for you to take loans from friends and family rather than a bank?
Yes.
Now, you've submitted a proposed distribution of assets to the court that was admitted as Exhibit A. Do you believe that exhibit is a fair and equitable division of the marital estate?
Yes.
All right, Deborah, I'm going to move away from property and briefly talk about child support. Now, this court previously entered a temporary support order. The calculations for that order were based on your last job before the order was entered. Can you remind the court what your last job was?
I was a caregiver through the state of Michigan for my sister.
And I'm sorry to ask.
Sounds like a whole lot of convoluted mess. That's what I'll say. With my hands doing this, I think you can pick up what I'm laying down. My room is big, but I'm actually moving rooms soon. I'm going to be making a studio there's a little area in the basement, and then I'm going to have another room, basically. 2 smaller rooms instead of this one bigger room. But that's on the agenda for this month, in fact. But it does sound like another family scam, doesn't it? This. Also, stop lending the money. Like, I don't know if it's fair to assume that they actually thought these were getting paid back from the family. Like, can you ask if they've ever paid a loan back? Banks usually like their money back, so that might be why they didn't go there.
Ask this, but can you tell the court why you stopped working as the in-home caregiver?
My sister passed away
And when did Chelsea pass away?
June 29th.
Oh, shit. Well, now I'm an asshole, aren't I? Fuck. Shit. Oh, shit. Well. Yeah, I'll take a dab to that. May she rest in peace. Chelsea. Let's have an F in the chat for Chelsea. May you rest in peace, Chelsea. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Since that time, have you started with a new employer?
Yes.
What is your current position?
I'm a paraprofessional at Zinzer Elementary School.
What's your hourly rate of pay?
$15.46.
And about how many hours are you currently working per week?
15.
Does that position
Can you
work
give me- I'm
around?
sorry, can you give me that hourly rate again?
$15.46.
46. Thank you. I didn't write it down quick enough. Thank you.
Does that position work around Michael's school schedule? So do you need to basically, let me rephrase. With that position, do you have to pay for childcare or are you able to provide childcare directly?
I am able to provide childcare directly
Now, is that position at the school year round or just during the school year?
during the school year.
So if I do my math correctly, the 15 hours, 1546 for school years, I think 36 weeks, that's slightly less than the amount the previous calculation used. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
But you're asking the court to keep the imputation from the last order. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. To your knowledge, has there been any change in Tom's employment since the order was entered?
Not that I'm aware of.
All right. So I'm going to shift over and let's talk parenting time conditions. The last thing I want to ask you about, we'll start with the easy one. The current parenting time order has you picking up Michael at the Sparta police station. Is that where you've been picking Michael up?
Generally, yes.
And the current order has Tom picking Michael up for his parenting time at the Walker police station. Is that where you've been dropping Michael off?
Yes.
Which of those locations is closer to your home?
The Walker Police Station.
Would picking Michael up at Walker instead of Sparta make it easier to get Michael to bed on time?
Yes, it would.
And just to be clear, you're asking to switch these locations so there won't be any overall change in drive time. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right, let's talk about the exchanges themselves. All right, I'm going to pull up what has been proposed as Exhibit F.
For fuck!
All right.
It's a video. I think we can watch this one. Jordan, get your
Apologies,
shit
John. It
together.
might mute my microphone when I'm sharing the audio, so I'll try and go back and forth
It
if it's
won't.
flashing a
Okay.
little bit. So Deborah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share this proposed exhibit with the court, and then I'm going to play about the first 5 to 10 seconds and ask you some questions to identify and authenticate the exhibit.
Okay.
That's my work card. Take pictures of it, dog. Here I am, you fat piece of shit. Hi, bud. It's at 8 p.m.
Did he just say, you fat piece of shit? It's my work truck. Get pictures of it, you fat piece of shit. Spade's a spade.
All right, Deborah, do you recognize this video?
Yes.
All right. Can you tell the court where is this video taken?
Sparta Police Station.
How do you recognize this location?
That is where we do our exchanges.
Can you tell the court, do you recognize who the person in the orange tank top was?
That was the defendant, Tom Huey.
Were you present at the time this video was taken?
Yes.
Do you know who took this video?
My stepdad, Doug Lemon.
And he was present for the exchange as a third party?
Yes.
Can you tell the court what day this took place?
August 11th.
All right. Deborah, I'm going to reshare this and play the entire video. It should take about 4 minutes.
Can we identify the year?
Oh, yes. Can you identify August 11th of what year?
2024.
Thank
And
you.
Your Honor,
minutes?
before I play the rest of it, I'd like to move for admission of proposed Exhibit F.
Any objection, Mr. Huey?
No, all the videos that he wants to show they're true. So I don't know if we need to waste our time, but I
Okay.
understand.
Well,
It's
in that case, if on admissibility, Your Honor, I'll move for admission of Exhibit G and F while we're at it and save us a few minutes.
all right. It sounds like you stipulated to those. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Are you gonna play
All
them?
right, so Deborah, I'm going to play this and then I'll ask you a few questions.
Okay.
I'm not sure that he did stipulate to that, Judge, but whatever. All right, let's go, fat fuck.
That's my work card. Take pictures of it, dog. Here I am, you fat piece of shit. Hi, bud. It's at 8 p.m., not 5 p.m. You can go all you want, you big piece of shit people. You guys are rude and you're disgusting. Put me on tape. I got worse shit of you guys. Ooh, I said shit. Give me a hug, Mike. I'm your dad. They don't get to act this way, like, all the time.
Oh, it was funny until there's a kid there. That's not acceptable, sir. No. Shut your fat fucking mouth, sir.
I love you. I know. I miss you too. Okay, mommy will probably drown you in a bathtub. When she kills him, get this on camera. When she kills him, I'm taking her to the grave with me.
Drowning in a bathtub? Is that what he just said? This is not a good look for him. You don't want to be doing that with a kid. But she's also, I don't know, I find it, I don't know. Maybe it's the purpose. Now who's honking?
Call the police. Dude, I'll stay here till 8. You lousy piece of shit.
Whoa! Good job! You're so big!
Oh, that didn't sound good for you, sweetheart. It was a windy day in Michigan. Yeah, so where is the handoff? One saying it's 3 hours later, they're gonna sit there for 3 hours? We better not watch this for 3 hours. Why are they still sitting
Well,
there?
you got it recording. Next time you threaten me with a gun, Doug, put the gun down and just hit me with your fist. Love you, baby. Kiwi for life. Come on, Doug, do something, dude. Right in front of the police station. Come on. Fuck you, Julie. Wow, your daughter's dead. Good for you. You probably killed her. Or Deborah did.
Oh, whoa. Did he just say, sorry, your daughter's dead? To Julie, the lady who's the mom that testified. And then she killed her. Oh, is that... Did she die in the bathtub? Under the care of her sister? That would not be good. That's all speculation on my part. All speculation on my part. But putting 2 and 2 and 2 together, that might be where the bathtub comments come from. Obviously, all of this is unacceptable. They need to have... This is not okay. But if that's actually what happened, that is fucked up. But she was antagonizing him. Like, if she had sat silently, it would be one thing. But we also didn't see the beginning of this exchange. I find that interesting. If you're gonna videotape it, what I would do is not sit there with a fucking phone like an asshole. I would have a dash camera. I would turn the dash camera and it would just record everything. It wouldn't be obvious. You're not, you know, going off on people. Yeah, soap writers should see this, huh? Also, here's the other thing. You're already at the police station. It appears to be the daytime. So, why not one person walk into the police station, place the child there, walk back to their car, and the other person come out and get it? And get the child. And the police are there. Like, this doesn't seem to be the best use of the police station pickup drop-off system. Now, I understand sometimes they're not always open for that, but it looks to be like that would be helpful. Maybe like reduce this interaction entirely. Maybe they could designate one jail cell for children getting dropped off. Was that the mom crying or the kid though?
All right, Deborah, I'm going to ask you a couple.
The child might have whimpered slightly, but that's her. That is her crying. No, that is her. You hear the first whimper of the child, and then you hear her say, "It's just so hard." And I don't doubt that the child is whimpering, but Mom, you gotta put on a braver face in that, baby. Like, no. No, no, no.
All right, Deborah, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions about that video. So at about 3 seconds in, Tom says, "Here I am, you fat piece of shit." Do you know who he's referring to there?
I believe myself.
Around 33 seconds in, while he's talking to Michael by his car, Tom says, "Mommy will probably drown you in a bathtub." When she kills him, this being directed towards the vehicle, get this on camera. When she kills him, "I'm taking her to the grave with me." When Tom says she kills him, do you understand that to be a reference to you killing your son?
Yes.
And that was said right in front of Michael.
Yes.
His reference then to taking her, and I'm using air quotes there for transcript, her to the grave, is that also a reference to you?
Yes.
Around 2 minutes and 30 seconds, Tom says something about someone, quote unquote, threatening him with a gun. Did anyone threaten Tom with a gun?
No.
To be clear, this exchange is in the parking lot of the Sparta Police Department. Is that correct?
Yes.
At 2 minutes and 54 seconds, Tom says, "Fuck you, Julie. Your daughter is dead." Is that a reference to your sister, Chelsea?
Yes, it is.
And when he says, "You probably killed her," or Deborah did, again, a reference to Chelsea?
Yes.
And you testified Chelsea had passed away at the end of June. So that was only about 5 or 6 weeks before this, right?
Yes.
At the end of the video for the last 30 seconds or so, you can hear someone crying in the background. Who can you tell the court who is that crying in the background?
My son, Michael.
All right. I'm going to switch over and show Exhibit G.
both of you
This
crying.
one's significantly shorter.
Thank fuck. I hope he asked if she
And
did kill herself.
again, I'm going to share it so it'll mute us, and then I'll bring us back and ask you some questions at the end.
It's not how it works. that one was sort of worthless. I think they're trying to show, he said, oh, look who's making a movie. Well, you are making a movie. Also, he
All
could
right, just
object
for
to
clarity on
speculation.
timeline, this is the August 14th video that was admitted by stipulation. Whose Mercury Milan is that?
That is Tom's.
And about 47 seconds in, was that Michael coming over to your car?
Yes.
So at about 1:13, there's a window that rolls down on Tom's car. Is Michael already in your car at this point?
Yes.
So the parenting time exchange is, for all intents and purposes, complete.
Correct.
All right. So then Tom rolls his window down, backs up, and holds something up to the window. Looks like a phone, and says, "Hi, we're making a movie. This is the guy right here that has a gun and is trying to kill me." That's all after the exchange is completed.
Yes.
Was anyone at this exchange trying to kill Tom with a gun?
No.
And this is the same parking lot at the police department in Sparta, correct?
Correct.
All right. I'm going to show you the last video. This is Exhibit H. This is the September 8th parenting time exchange. And same thing, I'm going to mute and let the video play.
Roll up your fucking window. Parenting exchange done. Roll up your window. Problem solved.
Bye. You know you're a child. You keep traumatizing my child. You're the one. You already killed one of yours. You don't need to traumatize mine. The PPO is coming though. Bye, bitch.
All right. So at about 23 seconds in, was that again Michael running to your car?
Yes.
So for all intents and purposes, the exchange is complete by 30 seconds into this video.
Correct.
All right. So then Tom backs the car up.
Is one of their children dead? Why are we only ever seeing the exchange of one child? Oh my god, did one of their children die? I think that might be the case. Because if you think about it, he's been real angry and talking about killing kids. And then she weirdly referenced when at the beginning she said we had 2 boys, but the way she said it was weird. I hope that didn't happen.
All the way up by your car, rolls his window down and says, "Bye, you know you're a child. You keep traumatizing my child. You already killed one of yours. You don't need to traumatize mine. The PPO is coming though. Bye, bitch." The reference to a dead child, is Tom talking to your mother here?
Yes.
But again, by the time he backed up, Michael was already in your car.
Oof, they're talking about her mother's dead child, not theirs. Thank you so much, Mikey. I appreciate that. Look at you gifting memberships. And Allison got it. Yay, Allison. We do members only on Sundays around here. Thank you again very much. It looks so good. Look how it glitters. It says gift. Hey, great Fleischer video today, Mikey. I saw that.
Yes.
And the reference to killing someone, you understand that to be a reference to Chelsea?
Yes.
So based on Tom's statements and actions at past parenting time exchanges, and this is over the last 6 weeks, do you believe exchanges should continue to happen at the police stations?
Yes.
Do you believe Tom will continue to act aggressively unless the court imposes parenting time conditions to govern his behavior?
Yes.
But at this time, you're not trying to change anything. You still want Michael to have a relationship with Tom.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to shift very briefly to spousal support. As I noted for the court earlier, we hadn't actually agreed on a resolution, but just to be clear, you are not seeking an order for spousal support. Is that correct?
Correct.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have no further questions for this witness.
All right,
Mr. Huey, do you
Thomas.
wish to cross-examine Mrs. Huey?
No.
All right. And again, you understand this is your only opportunity to do so.
Yes, ma'am. I wish to exchange 0 words with her.
Okay. Thank you. Any further witnesses, Mr.
I will have to say that is incredibly mature, actually. We've seen a lot worse from pro se litigants. This is making me think that, I don't know, it's interesting. I find that interesting. That's an interesting, interesting way that happened. You ate ribs? Nice. There's two kinds of ribs, right? And then now you're on the night shift. I know. I've been pulling doubles lately too, Mikey. I'm doing day and night shows. The videos don't help him. Sorry. But his demeanor in court is not terrible. Yeah. Having ribs is a humble brag. Yes, I would say so. Also, I just want to say I was walking by Whole Foods today on my way to the gym, and they have a ghost pumpkin display. But beside it, there's a new item today they added outside, and it is a bag of cinnamon scented pine cones. Is that a normal thing that you would see at a grocery store? I've never seen that at the grocery store. That strikes me as a Michael's type thing.
Swears.
No, Your Honor, plaintiff rests.
All right. Okay, Mr. Huey, now the case transfers over to you. Any witnesses that you would like to call?
No, ma'am. I don't have any witnesses.
All right. Do you wish to call yourself?
If I can recount events because these are
All
very
right, hold on,
jaded
hold
and
on,
it's
hold
very
on.
one-sided,
If you're gonna,
but-
hold on, if you're gonna testify.
I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm not trying to.
I know, it's okay.
Okay.
I need to
Sorry.
swear you in though before you can start talking, all right? Would you raise your right hand? State your name for the record.
Thomas Edward Huey Jr.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right. Now, if you did, you can put your hand down. If you had an attorney, your attorney would be questioning you much in the same way Mr. Swears was just questioning Mrs. Huey, right? But Mr. Swears, are you willing to permit him to testify in the narrative?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All that means is you don't have to ask yourself questions and then answer questions. You can just talk. Okay. But
Okay.
so go ahead whenever you're ready and try not to start going too fast. People, when they're nervous, tend to speak quickly. So it's important that I understand what you say. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Go ahead.
So the basis for our separation is the treatment that the plaintiff put upon my 6-year-old at the time.
Objection as to relevance.
The
I think
relevance
you
is,
got, hold, sir, wait,
oh,
when there's an
sorry.
objection, you need to wait for me to roll. Okay.
okay, sorry, ma'am.
I will allow the testimony.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Go ahead, sir.
Okay. The reason for that was the mistreatment of my older child that we do not share together. I made the executive decision to send him to go stay with his mother. I have maintained a 50-50 his whole life. We have stayed out of the court systems, so we have a really good relationship. I filed a motion for
Look at her fucking face. I believe him. I actually believe him. I'm on his side. I'm just out and I'm saying it. I actually believe him. No offense. You shouldn't judge books by their cover, whatever. She looks to me the mean type. She looks like a mean bitch. And some people are fine to their own children, but they are not fine to other people's children. And we lambast people for staying with abusive fucks. Well, it doesn't sound like he did. It sounds like he had enough and left. Oh, we had 2 boys. That was the 2 boys, I guess, at the moment. Grimace, right? Oh, anyways. But seriously, and also I want to point this out too. If he actually indeed, and it's too bad he didn't bring his other ex to testify, because that is actually a very good sign. If he is successfully co-parenting with somebody else and yet is having difficulties here, well, maybe the difficulty is here as opposed to with him co-parenting. That lends him a lot of credibility.
I want to recall, I don't remember the full name of it, but it wasn't an ex parte, but I filed it the day after the plaintiff filed for divorce. And in her divorce, she was seeking full custody, full everything. After I filed my motion, she sought legal counsel and filed the ex parte. So when that happened, my motion was, I guess, not relevant anymore. So then her motion took place, and then we had to attend mediation, which got me closer to parenting time reestablished with my younger son. And then we attended another mediation, and it got me overnights. I moved to Crystal to have my own apartment because I was living in somebody else's residence. And then in August 1st, just 2 months after having the place in Crystal, I was able to get into Kent City, where I had one of the first places I had applied to in December of 2023. So to be closer to both of my children. My older son, he resides in Sparta, and my younger one resides in Grand Rapids. As far as for the rent, it was cashier's checks that we were supposed to use to pay her, or a check. And the bank account that we had just I think it was Fifth Third. I'm pretty sure it was a Fifth Third. It was right down the road. And we didn't have checks through them. So her grandma wrote us checks and we gave her the cash. The vehicle in question, that the plaintiff's vehicle, the basis of that was her grandfather passed away and her grandmother inherited the car. But instead of signing it to us, it was signed to her mother to avoid paying lengthy taxes on it, because it was a really nice car. It only had 80,000 on it in miles. I hit a deer. We were under the premise that if we did get in an accident or anything else, or a ticket, we would tell the cops and everything else that we were just borrowing the car. So when that accident occurred, her mother got an insurance check for that. Well, her mother and grandmother felt obligated to get the plaintiff another car. So between the mother and grandmother, they both came up with it and got her the Ford Escape. And the only reason why I was put on the title, which I was very confused on, I don't understand why I was put on the title. And so there is that. I did agree to pay the $500 for the Mercury Milan. So I am not denouncing that. Her mother did tell us we didn't have to pay it back, but I planned on paying it back, and then the divorce and all that happened, so it was sort of just up in the air. I'm sorry, I feel all over the place. The
You're
rental.
actually, Thomas, I'm going to give you a little heads up here. You're doing a pretty good job. You should have taken notes, but you're doing a pretty good job. A minor thing, I would not admit to fraud in front of a judge under oath. That's just one little thing I would not admit to. That's not legal advice. Obviously, none of this is legal advice. But, yeah, I probably wouldn't do that. But that actually makes total sense. His story sounds real. The fact that he's willing to pay for the car that he has makes him, again, sound reasonable. I don't know why I'm feeling like she's the problem. Look at her face. I don't know. Paisley? Be nice, Paisley. Also, I just want to say, according to my Fitbit app, I am still considered obese. Is there something past obese? Is it like super obese or what?
Was used with my account, yes. And I think we did get a loan for the rental from her mother. But I was put on it because I had the bank account. Deborah did not have the bank account. And Deborah didn't have her license when we went to the car rental place. Sorry, I got here. As far as the child support, I think that should be adjusted. Only because the basis of I only make $1,000 every 2 weeks, and with my bills and everything else, I don't have anybody to help me. But I do understand the importance of paying it, so I'm not trying to make an excuse on the reason why I can't pay it, even though that's exactly what that sounds like. I'm not sure where else to go, ma'am.
Okay. Any of the contested issues, that's what you need to talk about.
Okay. So the rent, I don't, that's not, I don't know. I feel is there something I missed? The videos of me at the exchanges are true. I have no excuse for them. I would like if her father has threatened me with a gun. He stopped me at a family fair parking lot and pulled it out. I went to go file in Walker on one of the days of exchange because I was just tired of the plaintiff and her mother recording me and harassing me upon pickup. And immediately after I came out, they went in, and then I never heard anything else from that. So, but they have been recording me at exchanges, at every exchange since December. I have never had anybody else in the car with me. 90% of the time I stay in the car. I just have my son get out. The past few times I have in August and the one in September, I did not maintain a composure that I should have. And I am aware of that. And I'm pretty sure that's about as far as I'm not. I'm
Done a
not
good
sure.
job, Thomas. That's good.
Okay. Mr. Swears, any questions?
Briefly, Your Honor. So, Mr. Huey, you mentioned that you understand the importance of paying child support. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Have you been paying child support?
Yes, I have made a payment, but I also have other debts that I need to pay, like a place to live, because if I don't have a place to live, then you guys will say that I don't deserve overnights and I will be homeless.
All right. So you're aware that you're currently $3,567.50 in arrears on child support.
Yes, and I don't agree with that either. I don't think that should have been retroactive for 6 months of somebody denying me my child time.
And by somebody denying you your child time, you mean the court denying it by court order. Is that correct?
By the plaintiff getting a lawyer and falsifying records. So yes.
All right, but you recall you also asked the court to set a parenting time schedule at the beginning of this case. Isn't that correct?
Yes, and then it was met with you sending me a threatening email.
We'll go on.
Okay.
Early December, you actually texted Deborah about parenting time, and you said you weren't comfortable working it out with her. You wanted to wait and just see what the judge says. Is that correct?
That was before she filed the ex parte.
Okay, so it was okay for you to file a motion to establish parenting time, but not for Deborah to do it.
When I put the truth in it, when you put lies in it with a lawyer.
Okay, I think we all understand the answer.
Yeah.
You just testified that we've attended 2 mediations. So the first mediation was with the Dispute Resolution Center in May. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
When was the second mediation?
The second mediation was in June.
Who was that with?
That was through the court system too.
All right.
The first one was court ordered.
You're not referring to a second session with the Dispute Resolution Center. Is that correct?
I'm not exactly sure what their second one was through. I understood it was set up through the court.
All right. Do you recall requesting a second mediation with the Dispute Resolution Center in late August?
Yes, I did.
And you canceled that one. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. So we had the one Dispute Resolution Center in May, nothing in August, and you're not certain what this other.
We had 2 dispute resolutions, sir.
All right. Was the second one you're thinking of the settlement conference with?
We had court? 2 different mediators. There were 2 different mediators. If one of them wasn't through the dispute resolution, you weren't there for one of them, sir.
Okay, you're talking the friend of the court investigative
Yes,
conference.
sir. That was the first one.
I'm caught up now.
So it would have been a third mediation that I denied.
All right. With regards to rent, you said there's some dispute as to the transfer of funds. I'm not going to spend the court's time on it. I want to finally ask you just briefly, you talked about the videos of the exchanges. You said you have no excuse for that action. You were aware you were being recorded. Is that correct?
I'm recorded every time, sir.
Right. And in fact, part of the point of having these exchanges at the police station is to avoid some of the issues that were present in December of last year. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If the plaintiff's parents didn't need to be there, none of this would make any sense. She's the one that gets out of the car.
Well, in the first video, was that not you walking across the parking lot towards Deborah's car?
I did not walk across the parking lot. I maintain a distance.
All right, but
her father has threatened me with a firearm. My life is important. Thank you.
I'm going to ask the question, and I just need you to answer the question I'm asking, Mr. Huey. So you walked about halfway across that parking lot. Is that correct?
Sir. No,
all right.
sir.
Well, the video speaks for itself. Do you think it's appropriate to refer to Deborah as a fat bitch in front of your son?
No, sir, but no.
Do you believe it's appropriate to tell your son directly that his mother is going to harm him by drowning him in a bathtub?
Yes, sir.
All right. So you believe that's appropriate to tell?
Sir, she told my son he could go fucking kill himself, and she hated him. So you need to represent yourself.
All right, you both, hold on. You both can't talk at the same time. The transcriptionist will kill me. You have to take turns. Okay, don't talk over each other. Mr. Huey, you do need to just answer Mr. Swear's question. I will give you the opportunity to explain, okay, your answers after he's done with his questioning. We have to take turns.
Sorry.
There are court rules that govern this. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Swears.
Thank you, Your Honor. Michael is 5 now. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. So I think I'll ask kind of the open-ended on the last two, and then that should be all I have. On the last two videos, Michael goes to the vehicle about 30 seconds in, and then you seem to prolong the exchange to initiate some sort of confrontation. Can you explain to the court why you went just at that point? Again, if you're worried, like you said, about people or this exchange, once Michael's off to the other car, why you went just drive away?
Sir, you do realize I have another child, and when I exchange, he unbuckles. They spend time with each other because their time is limited. So I have to make sure he gets rebuckled. It's about safety.
Is your other child the one
I don't hang
telling you
out for
to-
5 minutes. I don't hang out for that long.
Is your other child the one telling you to back the car up and roll the window down to engage with these people?
I'm not going to answer you, so no.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Huey, this is your opportunity to explain the answers you just gave.
A lot of this is open-ended. A lot of it is to make sure Jordan Swears gets paid. That's his main objective. So a lot of this has been combatant. Part of wanting to get through this. I denied the last mediation because I wasn't gonna. He sent me 2 different emails trying to get me to agree to a settlement. And this is before we even did child support.
Your Honor, I'm going to object just in advance any reference to settlement negotiations being brought up in violation of the Michigan Rules.
I didn't say anything. I didn't say a specific, sir.
It doesn't matter. Settlement negotiations are neither
But
party.
that was the reason why I denied the mediation was of just this tactics right here. So I didn't want to be told I was breaking the law and I'm a criminal and everything else. It's the tactic that I feel like is just being pushed upon me. It's either be a criminal or be made into a criminal.
Why don't you focus on the testimony you just gave? If you have anything, because a couple times in your answer, it sounded like you wanted to explain, but it wasn't appropriate at that time. So anything you want to say about what you just testified to?
During exchanges with my other child in the car, the reason why it took me longer to leave was to buckle him. And the exchange that where I exploded was after a miscommunication. I thought the parenting time ended at 8. The plaintiff told me it ended at 5. I got there at 5:30. I left immediately, and I didn't understand why they had to record. And they all got out of the car. I think her stepfather stayed in the car, but they all got out of the car to run at me. They told me they were going to call the police, and I'm like, we're meeting at a police station. I don't understand the tactic of this, to have her parents in the car every time. You want to have a calm resolution and exchange, then why bring them there? He's threatened me. He has a concealed carry weapon. He's threatened me with it. And when I went to the Walker police station, he's friends with them, so it was just pushed under the rug. So it's just, I understand the court is going to see what they see fit. And yes, I have taken it upon, and I've put a lot on your shoulders, and I'm trying to do the best that I can for myself and my children. I go to counseling. I'm really just trying to do the best. I can't make an excuse for my behavior because it was inexcusable. But that doesn't mean that I should not have rights to my children. And it doesn't mean that I should be subjugated to some made up funds to try to cover attorney fees.
Anything else?
No, ma'am. I think I don't think we need to.
All right, Mr. Swears. Any follow-up?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right. And Mr. Huey, I think you already indicated you did not have any other witnesses or evidence to present. You need to unmute and say yes or no.
I was pressing the unmute. Sorry, no, ma'am, I don't.
Okay. All right. Mr. Swears, closing.
Your Honor, this is fairly straightforward since we already have resolution on the court's prior order regarding custody. Really, we only have a few outstanding issues in front of the court. We would, of course, ask the court to grant the parties a judgment of divorce. We would ask the court order defendant to pay plaintiff $7,572.10 as outlined in our Exhibit A, proposed distribution of assets. And I understand this is always the hard part when we have people borrowing money from family rather than going to a bank where we have clear, unambiguous loan documents and a loan officer coming to collect. But this is not an abnormal situation. If you look at the parties' incomes, this isn't a substantial asset case. Limited assets, loans from family, very normative. And for these to be, borrowed, or the idea, I think that the parties' relationship was such that Ms. Lemon, for example, was purchasing a car substantially below market or giving it to Mr. Huey free and clear immediately before a divorce was filed, I don't believe is probably the most logical inference. We would ask the court to order attorney fees pursuant to Reimer v. Johnson, and to set the matter for a post-judgment motion to be submitted with the affidavits, the detailed outline pursuant to Reimer, and if an objection is filed, to hold a hearing on that matter if necessary. Again, the issue in this case that Reimer really addresses is that when you have extended litigation, there's an appropriateness to balancing the cost of litigation between the parties. Mr. Huey makes about twice what Ms. Huey made even before she had the job reduction. And a significant part of the expenses in this case are related to the ex parte motion, which the court has already seen and dealt with, but it's in the court file. There was a lot of withholding of the child. There was a lot of, frankly, just mess back December of last year that has substantially improved as a result of those orders, but it has caused plaintiff to incur substantially more fees than we normally would in a case where you don't have ex partes just trying to calm everything down. So we would ask the court to reserve pursuant to Reimer v. Johnson, or to order and requires obviously to submit affidavit, not an itemized list of fees for objection. And then most importantly, Your Honor, is really the parenting time conditions in this case. There aren't a lot of assets in this case, but there is a child. And this child, the court can review the videos for itself. I appreciate Mr. Huey's willingness to acknowledge that this is not appropriate behavior in front of a 5-year-old, but the substantial concern is if, while a person is being observed at a third-party location, the reason we use these locations is it encourages people to be on their best behavior. And I think Mr. Huey's already indicated in his testimony that he feels it's appropriate to tell a 5-year-old child that his mother is dangerous, will drown him in a bathtub, that to make these sorts of threats and this sort of belligerent behavior, and we can see the effect it's having on the minor child. We're not asking the court to make any changes to the frequency of duration of parenting time, but as outlined in our trial brief, we are asking that the court impose very strict guidelines on these parenting time exchanges, that Mr. Huey remain in his car, not engage in this sort of threatening or disparaging behavior. And obviously, we would ask that the court include a very strict non-disparagement clause, because there's always a concern if this is how I talk about the child in front of the other parent when I know I'm being observed, how am I talking about the parent to the child behind closed doors? And that's obviously something that's very difficult to monitor, but we'd ask the court to impose an appropriate non-disparagement clause so that if it does become an issue in the future, the court has something to point to in an appropriate enforcement proceeding. And on that, Your Honor, we rest.
All right, thank you. Mr. Huey?
I don't believe I should have to pay the plaintiff's attorney costs. If I could afford an attorney, you think I would have gotten one, and I wouldn't have gotten treated the way I've been treated. As far as I don't talk about the plaintiff when I'm not my son. If he talks about her, he can talk about her. I don't talk about her. Once she treated my other child the way she did, she's no longer a part of my life or a part of my extracurricular. That's hearsay. That's, you can assume anybody can do anything on their own time. I mean, you could.
It's not hearsay, it's speculation, but it is a good objection. You cannot speculate what he may or may not do. Well, I guess you can in your closing statement, because it's not a statement of fact, rather a summarization of what the evidence should have shown. But we didn't hear about that. A little sneaky on the lawyer's part. We are getting close to the time when I have to go. Shut up, Paisley. Let the thing play.
Say I'm making bombs, and you don't know me, you don't know nothing about me, but to insinuate that is very detrimental to somebody's character. You keep saying about how I'm a bad parent and everything else, and the plaintiff's parents have to record me every time, and they have to make a big deal out of it. And you talk about it's the 5-year-old, and what about my 6-year-old that was mistreated by the plaintiff? But that's not talked about. It's a far cry for everything. And then that's my end statement. I don't believe I should have to pay her attorney fees. I believe the only thing that I'll agree to is I will pay the 500 for the Mercury because I took the car. That's the car I took. I agreed to pay that. I'm not trying to make stuff up. I'm not trying to whatever. I had no intention of being divorced and being where I'm at and barely getting to see my child and anything else. You make it sound like I planned this out. I didn't plan none of it. I would have
Valleyport, yay! 5 members coming to members only. My shirt can't stay closed. And somebody was asking who's the skank. That's me. I'm the skank. No, I'm just joking. Thank you so much, Sallyport. That is so sweet of you. As a reminder, we do members only on Sundays. Also, I don't know. I don't know that attorney fees should be issued in this case. I really don't. Maybe a nominal amount, but he doesn't have an attorney either, and I don't see him filing frivolous motions here. So I'm saying she should pay her own attorney fees. He's paying his, aka none, but he's suffering because of it. And I will be back tomorrow morning cooking stuffed mushrooms in my kitchen. I want you to join me. And in fact, they're such an easy recipe. You might even try them and like them yourself. A super duper easy recipe that is we're going to use up some of my mushroom ketchup. We talked about that last week. And we'll get ready to make a new batch of that at the end of this month. So keep an eye out tomorrow morning, 9:55 Pacific, or that's 12:55 East. Also, I don't think she's going to make a ruling here, guys. We have like 2 minutes left.
do a plan to make the plaintiff treat my child like garbage. I didn't plan none of that. None of that. So I appreciate your time, ma'am, and I thank you.
Right? Any rebuttal, Mr. Swears?
Only briefly, Your Honor, because the issue's been raised several times. The relying on documents previously submitted with earlier motions. I understand Mr. Huey's other child has some issues with school, some behavioral issues that the parties, I mean, all of us with small children get it. But to the extent to which there are allegations my client was mistreating the child, it's simply an overstatement of what are, I think, natural tensions in a blended family when a child not of the parties is experiencing some issues. So I wasn't really going to address it. I don't believe it's really relevant to anything in front of the court today, but just to provide the court some context, we would dispute any notion that my client is somehow mistreating. It's not really relevant now anyways, because the parties are divorcing, but just want to clarify on that point. Apart from that, nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. I will take the matter under advisement and we'll get you an opinion. I would say shortly, but I'm afraid it's not going to be shortly. I've got a couple of other cases that are ahead of you, but I will get it to you as soon as possible.
Thank you,
All
Your
right,
Honor.
thank you. We're adjourned.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that October is National Breast Cancer Awareness Month, at least in Canada. The bank that I used to work for, CIBC, was the big supporter of the Run for the Cure. I don't know if you have that. We have it it was always called the CIBC Run for the Cure in October. And we wore pink ribbons. But so Cindy, you're having a treatment tomorrow, a surgery on the boobies. I send you good booby vibes. I will continue to send good booby vibes out into the universe for you and for everybody else that needs it, men and women. Because guess what? Breast cancer is a thing amongst men too. And knock on wood, it's not cancer, sorry. But I shouldn't even say that, Cindy. You know what I mean. Anyways, regardless, I'm going to my especially exciting dinner tonight. I will be back tomorrow, like I said, 9:55 Pacific, that's 12:55 East. We are going to make stuffed mushrooms. We're going to do it in the air fryer. Once again, glorious device that is, and should be done by the time we're done with the court. We'll be watching court too. Thank you again so much for being here. Remember that I love you and I'm proud of you, and I will see you in the next video. Oh yeah, it's Taco Tuesday. Go make some tacos. Bye. You forgot the music.
Ready to ride.